Let's talk about some messy old Hollywood relationships. I was listening to a few episodes of the Hollywood Crime Scene podcast from 2021, and they were covering Ava Gardner's life, and they brought up Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner's relationship, and let me tell you, it was messy. They started dating when Frank was still married to Barbara, and the public perception of them really took a nosedive, and they were both people who hated to be left alone, and it brought out the worst in them. They eventually married, but they were both continuing on with numerous affairs, and because they were so jealous, it led to very public and physical altercations that reminded me, in hindsight, of Ronnie and Sam from Jersey Shore. If you know, you know. Basically, they were always either in the throes of passion or wringing each other's necks. Another very messy couple was Lupe Velez and Gary Cooper, who met on the set of a silent movie in 1929 and began a tumultuous 3-year relationship. Gary was a known cheater, and Lupe Velez had a short fuse and an intense temper. She even once stabbed him during an altercation. Gary was so emotionally distraught over the tumultuous relationship that he tried to end the relationship by fleeing to Europe in 1931, which I guess is his version of ghosting, but I guess she found out, and Lupe showed up, met him at the train station in Europe and tried to shoot him, but missed. Lupe eventually married the Tarzan actor of the day, Johnny Weissmuller, and that was a whole complicated relationship in and of itself, but apparently she held a torch for Gary Cooper until she passed away in 1944. Another relationship with a lot of ups and downs is Greta Garbo and John Gilbert. They met on the 1926 set of Flesh and the Devil and allegedly fell in love upon looking at each other, although some people speculate that the whole romance was fabricated to hide her bisexuality. A lot of people that worked with them at the time said they had a once-in-a-lifetime chemistry, even though Greta Garbo was known to be skittish and had a very icy demeanor. It didn't take long before John Gilbert started to propose to her constantly, and they were set to have a double wedding with King Vidor, an MGM director, and another actress, Eleanor Boardman. But when the day arrived and everyone was ready, Greta Garbo never showed up, and John was very upset. John Gilbert's career didn't really make it past the sound era. He only made a few movies that didn't do well, and he had serious alcohol problems, and he died of heart failure in 1936, while Greta Garbo also retired in 1941 before the US went to the war, and she is known for being a semi-recluse for the last 50 years of her life. The last relationship I'll mention is Lana Turner and Johnny Stompanato, which is a doozy. Lana Turner is known for having married 7 people, and at that point in her life, she had been married multiple times, and she started dating Johnny Stompanato, who was a known mobster. He was hyper possessive and prone to fits, and one time he even threatened to cut her face up with a razor just to ruin her career. On April 4th, 1958, Lana decided to end her relationship with him, and she even told her 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl Crane, to stay in her room while she'd have the conversation. And obviously, the mobster didn't take it well. He started threatening and kind of manhandling Lana pretty badly, and Cheryl, her daughter, could hear the whole altercation in her own room. Lana eventually got away from him and kind of went away in the hall, and then Cheryl proceeded to pop out of her room, and she ended up stabbing him in the stomach with a butcher knife. The wounds were fatal, and the murder trial was sensationalistic, to say the least. A lot of newspapers reported that Lana Turner gave the performance of her life on the stand. The jury reached a unanimous verdict of justifiable homicide, but rumors persisted for decades that Lana Turner was actually the one with the knife and that she blamed it on her daughter because she'd get a lesser sentence. If you know of any other noteworthy old Hollywood messy relationships, let me know because I love hearing those stories.